Okay, we're live, so just so you know, you are live at the moment. Mr. Sanford. May everybody have that desk? Camera should pick up readily. Need to use it.
Okay. Good afternoon, guys.
Good afternoon.
I think you did it. It's unlocked. I'll make sure. Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
it's yours.
All right. Another day in paradise. Guess we need to bring this meeting to.
Lost him.
I lost. You still with us?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, I know what it is. There we go. There you are, sir. It was pinned.
Oh, okay. I guess we bring it to order here. I guess everybody got need to approve the minutes. Did everybody get their minutes? They have a motion to approve the minutes?
So move.
Who is that? Bruce?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'll second it.
All right.
All agree.
Aye.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
we have a new member on the board. Mr. Sandifer, Jason Sandifer is our newest member
All right.
in October. Mr. Sandifer comes from a military and aviation background, dealing with fuel. And Jason, you could probably give him a few more things, let him know a little bit about yourself. I know I've probably fallen way short on that, brother.
Yeah, I can do that. I worked at the Quad City International Airport for 6 years after the military in Moline, Illinois. I managed a airport-owned FBO for 6 years, primarily with refueling with jet fuel and avgas. We branded Shell Aviation, worked with Titan Aviation and QT Pods. A lot of similar things we have here today. I hold a bachelor's degree in aviation management and an accreditation for the American Airport Executive Association. And so I had a great time at the airport there for 6 years. We moved back home to Calvert City here 2 years ago, where I currently am the terminal manager for Transmontane Paducah. We hold petroleum products. Today, about 13 million gallons of gasoline and diesel. I've been there for 2 years, and so it's good to be home. But I miss the aviation industry. This is a great way for me to help give back and to stay connected to that lifestyle. So I'm excited to be here.
Glad to have you aboard.
Thank you.
This is Bruce. Welcome. I do have one question for you. Is Valero still funding you all with fuel?
Valero holds my gasoline and diesel.
Yeah.
And Simatech here in Calvert
Yeah.
holds the resin oil and resin former.
Gotcha. Sorry about that, Chairman. Just being nosy.
All right. We got, guess we need to open up any old business.
Yes, sir. I've got some updates for you.
Okay.
You'll look on there, there's a page. Pass some of the stuff. You have a budget, there's an account, says airport, current year to date, balances and total budget and remaining budget. Right now, we're well within budget, for this year. We've spent 25,000, a little over 25,000 as far as our budget goes, which is a budget of 80,000. We would have been on track if we were tracking it or by percentages, we'd have been on track at 33,333. So we're in pretty good shape. The only thing that's high at the moment is our mowing, but that's because the bulk of it has been between July and now. We're just wrapping up the mowing for this year. And we'll pick it back up mid-May, most likely.
Okay.
So other than that, we're in pretty good shape unless anyone has some questions about it. Okay. Hangar rentals. Right now we have 18 of 21 hangars rented. We have 2 that are on that are pending, or I've got 2 individuals that are wanting some hangars. We haven't wrapped those up yet. And then I've got 1 that's just out there. It's just a regular size hangar. The rest of them have been rented. So 18 of 21 currently.
Not bad.
No, not bad at all. Fuel sales for the year. We've sold, and this is since we first started, but for the full year 2021, we started, I think, back in April. We've sold 4,576 plus gallons of 100 low lead. And you should have a copy of the sales summary by product. Jet A, 882 gallons. I'm pleased with our sales. The only thing I'm not exactly overwhelmed with is our Jet A sales. Our Jet A sales.
Hey, John,
Cluster.
I just got a text from Donnie and he's trying to get on. He's trying to join the meeting, but can't.
Did you go in there to my office and accept him? Jason, on my screen, it should be a chat. If you'll admit, wait a minute, Carrie, can you admit Mr. Travis? I'll check that out, please.
Where are we gonna admit him? The funny ward?
Oh, I use Teams, not Zoom. I don't see his name. You see his name?
Open up the chat box. Open up participants. Click it. And then at the very top, it should have his name.
His name's not in the chat.
It's not saying that.
Yeah, I don't see his name anywhere.
All right, if you'll leave that chat box open,
Yep.
he'll come back, the participant box, not chat, but the participant box open. If you leave it open, he'll come back, probably recycle back through. Greg, would you tell him to give it another try?
I just asked him if he had clicked on the link yet and I'm waiting to hear back from him.
Okay, very good. Thank you, sir.
Did we get John? Have we got John on here?
He was accepted.
Yeah, he's on. He's just, there he is.
There you go.
Okay. Hey, John.
How you doing, Greg?
Good. Good.
John.
Okay. Sorry to interrupt you. If I get another text from Donnie, I'll let you know.
Okay.
I show that he's trying
I'm
to get
on.
on.
Now, I'm sorry. I'm
Oh, he's
having
there.
trouble. I'm on now.
Okay.
Okay.
So what time did they?
So again, to go back and reiterate, we've year to date, we've sold 4,576 gallons of 100 low lead, only 882 gallons of Jet A. The Jet A concerns me because I'm sitting with a large tank of Jet A that at the end of January, if we haven't sold it, I'm gonna have to pump it out and do something with it. That means I'm probably gonna spend more money than I would. So one of the things I wanna, now this is just not something I'm throwing out here, is if we went and did a sales promotion and dropped our price, not to below cost, but just above cost, bring it down to say, I think we're at 360, 380 a gallon. It's 370 to 380 for Jet A right now, and 460 for 100 low lead. 100 low lead is going to have to go up to at least 480 because of the last purchase that we made. But I'm thinking about bringing this down on a promotional basis, maybe a week or two, just to see if we can get people in here and sell some of that. Thoughts?
I had a question there. Why do we need to pump it out after the end of the year?
On January the 28th, it's invalid. We can't put any more in it to reset it. It's only good for 6 months, and at 6 months, the only way you can keep it is to double the volume. We've done that once. And if we can't sell it, then we have to pump it out because we can't sell it after that point.
Okay.
So my thought is to bring the price down on a promotional to get people, let them people know it's here. See if we can get them coming in and get them used to coming in, and bring it back up to its normal price after a week or so, just to see if we can get some sales that way.
Dennis, Donnie, what's your thoughts? Y'all,
Well, let me-
pilots that fly in and out.
Let me talk. We've got 3 turbines on the field here in Mayfield. So, did we ever hit up? All right. Let me rephrase that. Are we set up to take government cards?
We can actually, if they're gonna come in and want fuel, they're gonna have to call us to let us know so we can send someone out there. We can take a government card, but they have to have a slip. And the only way to do that is to go through the brick on the inside.
Sure.
And so we have to have someone on site for that purpose. So they'd have to give us a call. I haven't had a chance to call the military and see if they would be interested in that. We can do that. But we're going to have somebody that's going to go out there and pump the fuel that's certified or it's trained to pump fuel. Or
much fuel-
run the machine anyway. If they don't pump, the military may pump their own, but someone that can run the brick or
Sure.
the card swiper.
How much
Card reader.
jet fuel we got?
I'm sorry.
How much jet fuel we have left in there?
Around 3,500 gallons.
35,
Yeah, it's a 4,000 gallon tank,
5,000.
5,000, but about 4,500 is all you get in the tank. The other 500 sitting in the system itself.
Sure.
So I think we're at 3,500 right now, somewhere around that range.
Okay.
It doesn't count what's in the system, right? That's just what's in the tank.
Right.
It should be another 500 or so in the system itself, I think is the way they read that.
Yeah, it just stays. You never really get that.
Yeah, it just cycles
But-
through.
I'll send an email or text message to Dr. Drake. He's got an MU2. He
Okay.
buys.
I
fuel,
talked to Brent, and the one thing that I'm finding is that he sells more Jet A than he does Avgas, and of course they're larger tanks, but I think we sell more Avgas than maybe as much more than he does in Mayfield, but he sells more jet fuel. Our prices are the same. We keep our prices the same so that we're not competing with each other normally because we split loads.
Right. Right.
But at this point, I can't put the city in a position that we're going to lose,
Sure. Sure.
3,000 gallons worth of jet fuel. And then have to pay to have it pumped off and thrown away.
Yeah. And I talked to Brent about it. talked about it.
Wrong word, disposed of.
Sorry about that.
Sorry.
I said, I talked to Brent about it yesterday and I mean, if we have to lower the price on it just to get rid of it, to keep from having to dump it, you know, the airport board in Mayfield is not going to say a word. So the problem is just firing up the turbines to go over their land, then and turn around. But if they're coming back from a trip, you know, it's just a little more.
Yeah.
I know the Conquest down. We have the like I say, Dr. Drake's got the MU2, which he burns a lot of fuel, and we have the Cheyenne, which is flying quite a bit now. So we have our breakfast Saturday morning, so I'll say something to the guys there.
Okay. Just to let them know that that's what I'm considering doing. And unless I've got something that you guys are just really have heartburn about, I'm going to probably look at doing that. I'll talk with my boss, but I'm thinking that's probably where we're going to go with this, and probably do it for a week or so just to see if we can get some movement. If we get some movement, then at least we'll get the word out there, possibly that we've got it from word of mouth to help us out. So it's on NavAir, it's on ForeFlight, and it's on another one. I don't know. It's a publication or something. I'm not sure exactly what. That's through our marketing director. I'm not sure exactly which one that is.
Okay.
But we are advertising on 3 different medium.
Well,
Hey,
this
John.
Yes. Yes,
Hey,
Doc.
this is Donnie. Can you burn that as diesel in the winter time?
You can, it's just that it's incredibly dry. So sometimes you'll need to add an oil base or some type of lubricant to it, but it is very similar to diesel fuel.
Yeah, we just add a
Well,
little bit.
that's what I.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Donnie.
Oh, I was just going to say. I mean, I could probably buy some of that if we could use that in the winter months. I could probably buy some of that, or the city could buy some of that to put in some of their diesel machinery. And I understood that you could burn that in the wintertime, but you couldn't burn it in the summertime because it was, I guess, because of the heat, but you could use it in the wintertime. So I didn't know if you wanted to look into that or talk to somebody that knows more about it than I do. But I just know that at one time, I think there was a situation over there at Mayfield where that they had some problems with that about 20 years ago. And I'm thinking that the city of Mayfield may have bought some of that and used it in some of their, like some of their diesel trucks and machinery and stuff, just to burn it off. But
Jason,
price-wise, I don't know. What is diesel going for right now compared to?
about 380, isn't it?
Right now it's 380. I think it's
For
380.
The
Hey.
Jet A?
Jason, what's your thoughts on that?
Well, a few points. The wintertime thought process, you can burn it summertime, wintertime as diesel. It's just that it has a higher freeze point than diesel does. That's why it's mostly burned in the wintertime, whereas diesel will gel up. We have done that where we've sold it to farmers or people use it for generators to burn it, just to sell it at cost. Something I would be interested in is reaching out to Titan. We have in the past purchased additives that would extend the shelf life of Jet A, where it's sitting for too long, where we could recirculate through filter separators and add 20 gallons of an additive that extends that shelf life. How long it'll extend it, I'm not 100% on.
Okay. I'll talk with Titan and see if there's anything that we can do or in that realm as well. But I'm still thinking that if we could do a promotional gig, we might could get some more word of mouth out there.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think that.
But I'll check into Titan before I actually do any kind of a price reduction.
I think we still probably will have to do some type of reduction for a short period of time. And I think that will benefit us overall for people to see lower prices, even if it's temporarily.
Okay. Thank you.
That opens up one other question I guess I'll ask John is if we're not moving enough of that Jet A fuel, then when we split our loads, is that an issue that we're gonna be sitting on that, or we just have to know it going in that we may be in this same boat?
Now, I know where I know where you're going. Actually, no, because
Okay.
Mayfield picks up, and like I said, sells more Jet A than Avgas. And so they generally can utilize the Jet A quicker than they can the Avgas.
So
So
just
it
split
really
the volume.
And he
Yeah.
can hold more than I can as well. So
Okay.
we can reduce the amount that we take and not fill it all the way up if we're not getting the sales.
That
And
makes sense.
keep it at a lower volume of purchase at a time until we do get the sales up.
Yep.
Okay,
Makes sense. Perfect. Thank you. Just thought I'd throw that out there.
that's a valid question.
Hopefully dropping the price will attract folks just to the airport in general that may not have been able to utilize or use the airport in the, previously. And, consider us for future purchases, if they're using that type of fuel. So hopefully the promotion goes well. I don't know what all of the avenues we can use to actually get the word out, but it sounds like you've done a few things. Does anyone have any other ideas on promotion on that?
John, I guess I would say if you would let us know if we don't move any through any promotional, and then two, if there's not a potential additive that we can extend the shelf life, let us know if there's some available, because like Donnie said, there's probably folks that could utilize that as diesel fuel and
I'll
take
definitely
that off
do
our
that.
hands.
I'll definitely do that because I definitely don't want to have to pay to have it removed and disposed of.
Yep.
Okay, I will, definitely.
One other question, Jason, then as far as shelf life from diesel fuel, that's irrelevant then going forward. Would that be the case?
I don't understand the question.
If someone were to purchase that and they've still got it in April or May,
Well,
that would-
it's no longer used for aviation purposes. So
right,
that
so it
shelf
wouldn't
life,
matter.
it doesn't matter, as well as they purchase it as is. It's they hold the responsibility and liability once they purchase it. The trick with that will be, do we have the pressure locking nozzle connected to the Jet A, which is mostly common, or is it the single point nozzle, which is what you use to fill up your truck every day? If we go to using it for non-aviation use, we might want to change that. And it's not as easy to have people just, drive up to a truck inside the fence line and start filling up totes with, for off-road use.
Right.
But it's an option.
And we use Jet A in all of our service trucks at Paducah, and all we done.
That's what in the military we use Jet A for diesel as well. So, the only concern is that it's dry. So sometimes you need to add some lubricity to it.
Yeah, we just put transmission fluid in there with it and went on.
Mhm.
Does the same.
That can also be used for heating oil, correct?
Yes, it is. It's a grade better than kerosene.
Right.
And cheaper than kerosene, because kerosene's crazy outrageous now.
Is it?
The thing that we have to watch too is this fuel has Prist in it. So it's just another additive to keep the micro bugs out of it. But it does have Prist in it. Or at your bigger airports, you can add Prist as they're putting it in, especially if you're single pointing or something, they can add Prist. Some people don't like it in their jets if they burn it out a lot.
Just one more question and I'll get off this. Brad, do you all use a lot of kerosene within the city?
No, we really don't use very little at all, but I was just thinking there'd be another avenue, maybe
Mhm.
somebody could.
Several options anyway, John.
Question. Okay. Don't have my hearing aids in this. That's all I have on this subject at this moment. Any other questions?
I don't have any.
Okay. If not, I'd like to move forward to the hangar rental agreement. Greg has gone through and provided a updated version based on our conversations over the last few months, or last few meetings, and from another agreement that we had available, and you all received a copy. The differences you'll find have been highlighted on this new one. And that tells you what has been added or changed. As to the other, this is now 5.5 pages versus 4. But a lot of the stuff that was in there is based on a lot of the things that we all discussed in that.
There are basically two kinds of changes in the agreement. One of them is just the things that you guys discussed. Like if you'll recall, we were talking about how much fuel, how much fuel in a gas can you have in your hangar, and you guys decided 1 gallon. So there's a half a dozen of those type changes that are in here, and the other parts came from a fella who has been an FBO for his whole life, and this is and I got his hangar agreement, and I also learned from him sort of an overriding consideration that you need to put in your lease terms that all uses of the hangar are aeronautical, and that is so that you don't disqualify yourself from like the annual reimbursement or the annual funds that we get from the feds and any other money we may get from the feds relative to the hangars. It's contingent upon the hangars being used exclusively for aeronautical purposes. So you'll notice in these revisions that there are 3 or 4 places where the language of the lease specifically says only for aeronautical purposes. And and the reason that those changes were made was so that we don't accidentally disqualify ourselves from available funds.
So you should have received 2 copies. One is the bridge agreement, and the other one is the revision draft that's highlighted. And you can compare one against the other at your leisure. And then we can discuss it in January if you want, or we can go ahead and discuss it now. But I thought it'd give you some time to look it over. If you want to discuss it now, that's fine too.
I don't think there's that much changes to it, from the last one. I mean, just
There's not. There's a little bit of form, a little bit of form, just to make it a little clearer. If one paragraph was addressing 2 issues, I might
Sure.
have made 2 paragraphs out of it, so it would be easier to identify. But there's not a lot of change, substantive change.
right. Yeah, I looked over it yesterday and on this today, and like I say, it's not that much difference. Just a little bit of verbiage, and it's pretty much the same as the old one, or the original, I should say.
I was kind of surprised that aeronautical use was such a big deal, because that really solves some of the problems, like people wanting to put boats and stuff in their hangars. We just simply can't do that. If we do it, we're shooting ourselves in the foot.
It don't matter if we paid for them or if it was all paid for by the government. If we get any of that money every year, then it has to be aeronautical use.
Right.
I mean, I understand that T hangars are a lot cheaper than going and renting a storage hangar, but that's what you have to do.
Yeah. Yeah. And the reason those are marked yellow is so you don't have to read the whole thing. You can just read the yellow parts, and that's the part that's what's got the real change in it. And those changes are not huge.
I don't have a problem with making a motion that we accept what we got and go with it, or I'm okay if somebody wants to wait and read it and bring it up again in January.
Someone else will have to make the motion.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If somebody wants to make the motion.
I can make a motion that we accept as revised.
You have a second?
I'll second it.
Donnie, yeah.
All in favor? Say aye. Just something else we get out of the way before January.
My only question with this is what is the plan to resubmit this for signing by all the tenants?
I'm
The
saying,
bridge agreement was done as a month to month.
Okay.
And so it will be real simple to, as you, yeah, I don't know that there's an enormous hurry, except that we do need that aeronautical use only language in all of our leases. And so we probably ought to go ahead and try to get that done, but it won't be an issue because otherwise they're month to month leases.
we'll scan these in and email them out to those who have hangars.
Has everybody sent their insurance papers in, or I don't know if our secretary got ours in or not. If not, I'll need to get that done. Do you know, John?
I do not. I'll have to go back and I'll have to look into that.
Okay. Because when I called my insurance company he said it ain't a problem, just naming, the airport is on the policy.
Okay.
Additional insured language.
Yes.
Was that a unanimous? Did you ever ask for any opposition? Was there any opposition?
Oh, I think everybody agreed.
Okay.
If somebody did this, then pick up.
That's all the old business, sir.
Okay.
I say old business. I count this next thing as new business, the capital improvement or the airport's capital improvement program. This, you've received a copy. The airport, unfortunately, you've got the first page is the old page. It's changed twice since we sent that to you. So if you will, if you'll pull out the first page of that, I actually printed some new ones. Did you have those? Did you get them?
Yeah.
Okay. Could you, let me have one of them. I'll go over the changes with you right quick, and then we'll have copies of the plan here. And I think initially, if you'll, at the bottom of the page, we'll hit the state first. If you look at the bottom of the page, it had in 2023, the 2 box hangers. In 2024, it had the obstruction mitigation and a 8-unit T hanger. Is that what you all have?
I'm trying to pull mine up right now, John.
All right.
Here we go.
That has been changed.
Okay.
The way it reads now is in 2022, the airport perimeter fence is our primary for the state. In 23, there are two issues: obstruction mitigation, which would be working towards our instrument rated approach, and then 2 box hangers or FBO and other units. In 24, an 8-unit T hanger. That's basically a base. That's something I discussed with them because it really depends on whether we've got a backlog of people waiting for single hangers like that, or if we have enough people wanting twins to reconsider going after a 6-unit or 3-unit hangers for twin prop aircraft, twin engine aircraft. So that's 24. And then in 25 would be the access road improvements. those improvements are more extensive than what we might do if we get this funding grant that was filed by Blair and I a couple of weeks ago, or about a month ago, actually now, I guess. In the upper section, you'll see, or the middle section, that is our federal funding projects. And next year, again, they're continuing our airport layout plan, which is part of what we're discussing at the moment. Then 23 is rollover. We're going to hold those funds back so that in 24, we'll be able to utilize them towards rehabbing the taxiway and the apron with new paving. 25 is also, if the way I understood it, was included in that as well. So it'd be a 3-year. 26 would be a new AWAS system. And 27 is not on here, but 27, this doesn't have 27 on it. So this is not the new one. I printed one up.
No, I don't have it then.
Brad, did you check the printer? There should be several copies there. This one was just added just recently because Jake Dahl from KDA expressed that this was a 22 through 27 plan, and we didn't have anything in 27. Oh, I know what it was. They were just going to set up 27 as a rollover year as well. So that was the change. So it's not on there, but 2027 would be a rollover year in which we would hold those funds for another project.
Yeah, I mean, if we're gonna do
That's correct. That's it.
we're gonna do more hangers. I'd like to see the box hangers, the 60 by 65s, like we have at Mayfield. I think that would attract, if we had 2 or 3 of those.
Well, if you look at the very last page, this one, you'll see the layout that we've looked at. The hangars to the right of our new hangars that we've got now would be the 2, 3, the 6, the twin engines.
Yeah, they're
Box hangars would be to the left of the fuel system, or the west side of the fuel system.
okay.
FBO is on the south end down there close to the ag building. And then the other 8 bay hangar, or 8-unit hangar would be south of the old hangar.
Right.
And then, of course, if you remember, we talked about the campground going in just to the northwest of the old hangar. And that field there. But that's a state grant we've applied for that and for the road work.
Okay. Now, did we ever talk about if somebody wanted to build their own hangar? Or is that, because we got 2 building in Mayfield right now. We got 2.
I've not had anybody approach us with that request. I know federal monies will not pay for it.
No, they build their own.
I know, but FAA is not real happy with that. Even though KDA is okay with it, we'd have to get the approval from finance to make sure that we could do that. So until I'm not going to go to finance at this point until I have somebody that is seriously interested in doing it. KDA would support it. That was what I was led to believe, that KDA would support the independent box hangars that would be turned over after a 25-year lease to the airport. But I have not heard anybody with a serious interest in that at the moment.
Well, Henry Doty was wanting, he asked me the other day. I told him that, but and he would be putting in probably a 60 by 65. That's what Dr. Wilson and Dylan and Cody Thompson are putting. They're building their own, so they give them a 30 lease.
Well, The layout plan that you see, those two box hangers on that west side of the fuel system are 60 by 65s.
Okay. Yeah, because the Pilatus that he has is, it's about 52 or 53 feet. So it's like 60-foot wide.
So, yeah, I really would need to have somebody with serious interest approach us and talk to us about it. So before I would want to approach the finance cabinet.
Okay. Well, I'll see him this weekend and see how serious he is, because he, like I say, just bought another brand new one. Just picked it up about 2 months ago. So.
Okay. It's obviously can be done. It's being done at all the airports around. They've got UPS and FedEx and even individuals down at Mayfield are putting those in. So if we get finance cabinet if we've got somebody who's serious about it and will build to the right specs, then we could move forward if the finance cabinet will allow us to. And then that would be a 25-year lease, I think is the normal term. And after the 25 years, it reverts to the airport.
Like I say, Mayfield just went, they're to 30 years. But the normal standard is I know Murray does 20 years, but then some of them, but they agreed to here at Mayfield this time to do 30. But that's a long time.
Yeah, that's something finance cabinet would have to tell us that. That's not something I don't know that we could set.
Sure.
Okay. Any questions or comments on the capital improvement plan, airport capital improvement plan that we're submitting to the state?
I don't have any questions on it.
Okay, we'll get updated and the corrected ones up to you. Basically, what you'll get is just the cover sheet, the first page. We'll send it out and you can replace the one you've got with that, and that should cover it.
Okay.
And then I'll let you know just as soon as we find out that it's been approved by the state. And that's all I have, Mr. Chairman, unless the board has other questions or other business they'd like to bring before you.
Don't have no more questions in. Guess we can get a motion to adjourn.
What, just a second. Just a minute, sir.
The open
All right.
house.
Open house. The open house right now is going to have to be in the spring. We're not seeing any movement toward officials that would be available until after the holidays. So we're looking at hopefully trying to pull a spring one at this point in time. We've made contact with Comer's office and McConnell's office, and they're booked up through the end of the year. So we'll push toward trying to do something in the spring.
Well, spring would probably work better for the EA chapter if we wanted to do like we call a fresh start, or we can do we're doing a fresh start on 11th of December. But we can do Young Eagles or a fresh start, free flights that day too. So just to get several people in.
I think if we can hit early spring, then maybe we can actually get some other activities to go along with it that we're not interfering with fly-ins and stuff of that nature in other locations. So we might be able to bring in some other activities as well.
Sure. I can probably over too from Cairo if we wanted to make a pretty nice open house. So
yeah. All right. That's all.
We have breakfast Saturday morning. If anybody wants to come out to Mayfield, every third Saturday morning, our EA chapter puts on a breakfast, and it's not just a cheap pancake breakfast. So
no, I can testify. It's pretty good food. I know the chef too.
we have a pretty big buffet, and it's, if you leave hungry, it's
You're
that's your fault. So, yeah, we have probably 50 to 100 every third Saturday, and we have pretty good time. So, and that's what I'd like for Calvert to be, you know, later on. And it can be. It used to be that way when I started flying there back in '82. So, it could be a pretty festive place, and everybody hung out there. So, and it can get back to that. So, well, if we don't have anything else, get a motion to adjourn. Hurry up, Bruce.
So move.
I'll second it.
All right, y'all have a happy Thanksgiving, Christmas, and I guess we'll see each other on January.
Same to you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, that was a whole lot better for you. Close everything out.